Man, my biggest thing best advice I ever got was be curious. I think that asking questions and trying to gain as much knowledge as possible, and ask them to everybody. You ask your position coach, your offensive coordinator, and then of course the players that you play with. Everybody has different frames of reference, and just talking, communicating. I think communication is huge into trying to learn. Your thirst to try and gain knowledge to help you do your job more. And the other thing that I tell all our rookies, all our young players, is every time you step on the field or everything you do in the building, you're marketing yourself. Everything. You're telling who you are, and if you want to make it for a long time, if you want to make teams, if you want to have success, you have to have something that stands out about you. You can't just be another guy that just goes out there and does his job. They can find a bunch of guys to go out there and do the job that they're asking them to do. What's it going to be that's going to separate you? When they watch tape, do you finish, to the echo of the whistle every single time, more so than the other guys out there? Are you more athletic? Are you stronger? In the meeting room, do you answer questions better than everybody else? All of these things are what allow guys to stick on for a long time, because you can't help it. The coaches are assessing the tape, or they're assessing players. When it comes down to making these decisions, they're going to remember the guys that stand out in their head.
Football is such a new sport in Denmark. You said communicating.
Yeah.
What is the communication you guys are doing before the snap? What's going on?
Well, he's playing center, so there's 4 positions I think on the field that you have to be a good communicator at: quarterback, center, linebacker, and safety. You need at least 4 guys out there that can do it. Everybody else, defensive end, go get the quarterback, man. You don't need to really talk too much. But if you're going to play center, you're part of one of the positions that actively can make other players play better just by being a good communicator and by helping people be in the right position and in the right state of mind to go before the play, or in the meeting room before the game. Those positions, I think, the best players that I've ever seen and been around, they end up being players that are natural communicators, natural, what's the word I'm looking for? Like their thirst for knowledge they're always trying to learn and improve. I think that it's ingrained in those positions.
Hey,
awesome.
Jason,
Thank you.
Nick was talking about how last year you guys get off to a slow start and kind of compete on. You had you, Lane, BG, Fletcher, guys that have been through a lot of ups and downs. What kind of confidence at that time that it was going to turn around, or was it just that's kind of how you're built to stand by the coach and be positive about it?
Well, you have one of two things to do when things are bad, right? You can either not believe in the coach and see the guy doesn't know what he's doing and think you know everything, in which case you're guaranteed to go a really bad route. There's no, it doesn't really, it's never made sense to me why guys do take that route, because ultimately it's never going to turn out positive. Or you could take the route of being accountable, trying to get better yourself, trying to infuse belief in your teammates and your coaches, and work to improve the things that you're struggling in. And Nick's an easy guy to love, very easy guy. He's a guy that loves coaching. He's a guy that loves being around his team. He's a guy that loves trying to improve himself and his players. So, being an older guy, that's part of our job. That's part of my job. That's part of BG's job. It's part of Fletcher's job is stuff together. That's what, that's kind of the value of having some older guys and some guys that are leaders is, when everybody's great when you're winning football games for the most part. But in these times of, downturn or, you're struggling a little bit, you have a good leadership. You have a good locker room. It'll buy you a couple more games. If you lose too many games, it doesn't matter. It's going to happen eventually. But it can buy you 2, 3, 4 games more maybe before dissension starts happening in the ranks.
You were saying that his message at that time was just double down on everything he had been through.
I know. It's hard. That's like being at the casino. You keep losing. You can't just keep doubling down. There's a maximum bet eventually. That's a recipe that can fail eventually. But, I think when you looked at the reason we were losing games and you looked at the philosophy that they were really preaching about doubling down on, taking care of the football, explosive plays on offense, stop explosive plays on. I mean, it's pretty much a good recipe, so it's easy to double down on. The problem is doing it, and I think we all knew that we had some good pieces, and we were just trying to iron things out. We were coming off of a obviously pretty bad season the year before, so we were in a rebuilding process with the coaches, and we were in a rebuilding process, not emotionally, but as a team. You're trying to rebuild that confidence and that trust, and So I think it's easier to buy in when you have good coaches and guys that understand, how to infuse belief and confidence within the ranks. I'm coming next. My marketing project. Pennies. Oh my gosh. Proudly pennies. We were I was a marketing major. We had to come up with an ad campaign about basically if you the university at the time was launching a campaign, Proudly Pennies, and it was trying to get people to just give whatever extra change they had to the university to raise as much money as possible. And Proudly Pennies, I don't know. I think, honestly, I had just seen that and now I'm blanking on what the advertisement was for, but the office linebacker, with the former NFL player, he was tackling all the guys in the office. I'd seen that growing up, and then I was in my group, and we started brainstorming. We thought that would be a good opportunity to make something funny and cool. But it's hard to remember how we drew the correlation back to the project. I'm drawing a blank on that at this point. Yeah, but it was all set up. It wasn't just tackling random guys. Yeah. I don't know whose idea it was, to be honest with you. There was me and my other buddy John Goebel that I played college football with were involved with it, and I think the other guys saw they liked the football team and the football. I think it worked. I don't remember it not working, but I can't remember. Well, I started off in finance, and then I switched to marketing my second year because I just liked it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I enjoyed the classes that I had taken involving it. And I do think it's been really, really applicable for my NFL career because, we're all, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't like that it's this way or phrasing it this way, but we're all a brand. Everything I do in front of this microphone, out on the field, what I wear, all of this is ultimately a representation of myself, my values, and who I am. And, I think that, and as a player. So I think when you go through courses and you go through things about brand strategy, influencer marketing, like all these courses I took in college, you can't help but retain some of that stuff. And, you think of things a little bit more calculated than I think maybe someone who might not have been exposed to that.
What's your favorite memory from UC?
I would love to say winning against Pittsburgh at Pitt in 2009, I think, if I'm getting my years right. That was an incredible moment for our team. But, man, I just loved being at the university. I loved being in the dorm. College is your first time where you get to you're on your own for the first time. Your first time away from your parents, or at least for me it was, outside of like a week or two. So it's an incredibly transformative moment in time, and you're going through it all with a bunch of other people who are going through it. So it leads to a lot of fun, a lot of rambunctious behavior. Clifton is a special community. There's lots of great bars, restaurants. I loved everyone at the university. I never forget my official visit there, and the guys that hosted me. And I knew right then and there that I wanted to go to Cincinnati. But what I remember most, or what I care the most, are just the people that I got to know. The teammates I had, the friends within the university that I had and still keep in touch with. the coaches I had, the teachers I had. There was a lot of great people at Cincinnati and at the university that have made an impact in my life and are still making an impact in my life.
Travis talked about the fact that he went through a process in college.
Yeah.
He had to get himself right again. And he also, I knew that you play a very important role in his life. Being in this moment right now,
Sure.
talk to me for both of you, just having this opportunity.
I saying this a little bit earlier, but I really think this opportunity is. We've had so many people that have helped us along the way, and we grew up obviously together in Cleveland Heights. Went to the same college at the University of Cincinnati. So there's been a lot of like-minded people and a lot of the same individuals that have helped us through our lives to get to this moment. And I think for us, it's really special because we can look back at all of these people in our community, all of these teachers we had at Cleveland Heights and Cincinnati, all of these coaches that we had, mentors, and everyone who has been there along the way. And for us to be able to go compete against each other on the highest stage, it's an awesome reflection for our family and both of us. But more so, it's an incredible moment for our community and all the people that we grew up with and everything that have made us into the people we are today.
Will you line up outside of the offensive line if your brother's going to try and block somebody? Or will you always stay in that center position?
I'm probably going to always stay in that center position. Unless we draw something up that I'm not aware of, I doubt I'm moving around.
How much has this tested the entire family, the whole brother versus brothers?
I don't know. We're handling it pretty good right now, but I think on game day we're going to truly get the feel of what that's going to be like when all the adrenaline's going, the testosterone's pumping. We're both highly competitive individuals. Right now we're still pretty good. We're being like brothers. My mom was at the media night last night with cookies, so it's been a pretty normal family affair up until this point. But obviously, the closer we get to game time, the more the competitive nature is going to come out.
I got to ask you too. You, Wayne, Fletch, and Brandon have been together for a long time
Yep.
now. When you think about Sunday and this possibly being the last rodeo for you four, what comes to mind?
We've had a long time together. Had a long road. We've been with each other for a decade plus at this point. We were pretty emotional as the time was winding down against San Francisco and knowing that we were going to be coming here. So I'm sure it'll be an emotional moment for all four of us. It's hard to sustain in this league for a number of reasons. You got to be good enough. You got to be healthy enough. You got to be likable enough or be a good enough teammate to survive within the same organization for a long time. So I think a lot of things got to go right. And when you're with somebody for that long, through as much adversity and change that we've seen within the organization, it obviously is going to bring you that much closer together. I'm coming. Oh man. Just the regular season. The most emotional moment was, clinching the first round bye and first seed overall against the Giants, ending the regular season. And I'd probably say that was the biggest because of how it transpired there down the stretch. But I think, early on, probably beating Minnesota at home was another big one for the team. It's a highly touted defense and a highly touted team coming in, and we really had a great game against them. And that was kind of the proof in the pudding for us, probably, that, all the things that we've seen, all the moves we've made this offseason, once you start seeing all that come together full circle in games early in the season, it really is just tells you that much more that you have a special team and you can do something well. I'm coming.
Your mom showed off her jersey last night.
Yeah.
Kansas City get it for fun?
Travis made that jersey and bought it for her. He's always pandered mom. He's the baby. He would do it for new shoes growing up, whether basketball shoes, sports equipment. He knows how to use his puppy dog eyes to his advantage. He got the jersey for her, so put me on the back, which is fine. I'm good with that.
When you were a kid, who used to walk when you were playing something? What kind of game did you
Who used to win? I won. I won the vast majority of them, being the older brother. I was pretty much undefeated until he hit puberty, and then it changed very quickly in the opposite direction. It was hard to compete with him once he got to be as big and fast as I was, and that was when it really became evident the type of athlete and talent that he had. Once he hit puberty, shot above me in height, and he went from like a newborn deer that was a little bit uncoordinated with his limbs to a stallion a little bit pretty much overnight. So there hasn't been too much of a competition in that regard since. I can still get him in some card games and board games and stuff like that, but he's got all the physical stuff.
Do you and Travis have really bets on what winner might have to
If we do, we're not going to say anything before the game. We don't want any extra attention on us, so we're going to leave that between us.
It's funny, Jason, you've got lots of fans in the UK. You will be staying up at court hours to watch the game.
Wow.
Does it mean any more to you, knowing that the world will be watching and plenty of fans will be?
It does, and it's been incredible seeing the growth of the game. It's been one of my favorite games I've played. Being in the NFL was over in London at Wembley. It was a great trip for my family and an awesome moment. I got to also watch my brother play over in England one year. It timed up with my bye week, so I was able to go and just experience it as a fan. And it's an incredible game. It's fun for the international fans to be able to witness that live. But to be able to say that you're playing in a game that people are watching all over the world. They're watching over in the UK. They're watching over in Germany. Apparently, they're watching it in Denmark. I think it's pretty cool that to be on that kind of stage. One of the downfalls of playing American football is there's no, Olympics. There's no international games. So the more this thing turns into an international game, the better it will be for everyone involved. Yeah. Yeah. He played a little bit, but yeah, he didn't start again. Yeah. I think Isaac was great that year. It was just unfortunate he played a guy early on that nobody knew about that now is the best defensive tackle in the NFL. I still remember going to that game, and we didn't really talk much about Chris, to be honest with you. He's a rookie, and we didn't have much of a plan for him because we thought it wasn't going to be a big deal. And man, Isaac had a hard outing, and I think Isaac's obviously a much better player now. Chris is a much better player now, and I'll be looking forward to seeing how those guys do against each other this week. He's going to get his one-on-ones. You can't do it all the time. He's a good player, but Spags does a great job of keeping the protections honest. He blitzes from all over, and it's going to be, he's a really, really good player, and you try and do the best you can, and some of it's not even a protection plan. It's just having a game plan going in as a player on what he does, what he likes to do, what his moves are, and things like that. So. Everybody kind of talks about us being different, but I think we're very, very similar. We're outgoing. We love to talk. We love people. We love hanging out with people. So as far as we're different, Travis is a little bit more into, fashion and what's the word I'm looking for? The pop culture, I would say. And I would say I'm more kind of into niche markets or niche, what's the word I'm looking for? Culture? I don't know. Just things that are a little bit more like off the beaten trail. Like I like going into unique things and finding out unique brands or artists or things that nobody's heard of. And I think Trav is a little bit more, well, he's like that on the artist side. He's got some eclectic art hanging on his wall, so maybe we're like in that regard too. I don't know. I mean, I haven't done as much celebrating as I usually do. It's one of the reasons I danced in the end zone. A.J. Brown and the receivers keep giving me crap because all I do is high five. They want me to celebrate with them. I did not. That was the first time releasing that. Just felt in the moment. Copied what Miles Sanders was doing. Well, everybody else seems to like it, so it must have been pretty good.
How does this offensive line this year compare to that 2017 unit?
Oh man, we've had a great offensive line here for a long time. We have a great offensive line this year. Obviously, me and Lane are still here. Isaac is now back in the starting role. 2017 year, man. If Jason Peters wouldn't have got hurt, with him and Lane on the bookends, Brandon Brooks at right guard, me at center, I think that was a pretty darn good offensive line. If I'm not gonna lie. But, JP getting hurt. Vaitai went in and did his job. We won a Super Bowl with him. And he's gone on to have an incredible career. I love Big V. So that's a tough one to answer, if I'm being honest. We're a really good offensive line this year. We're a really good offensive line that year. I think we might be better this year just because, how much... I get better every year mentally. Stout gets better every year mentally. Every year he says he's a better coach than he was the year before. So I think we've learned so many things since that year. So if those teams played each other with the same knowledge and framework, I think this team would probably win. But that team was a talented team, and that offensive line was very, very talented.
How's being a former linebacker?
Because there were injuries and guys filling in. Isaac was the week one starter, and then wasn't there the Super Bowl big game.
Yeah, I would never call Isaac a weak starter. I understand, but got it. Week one. So Isaac, anyways, I think the injuries played a role for sure, and I think we've had a lot more continuity, we've had a lot more health. We've had some injuries throughout the way, but now for the most part, everybody's back, minus one adductor on Lane Johnson. I don't know. That's a tough one. It's a tough one to say. That 17 line, when everyone was healthy and revved up, was pretty darn good. And if we did some of the similar things we do as a run concepts and teams back then, we didn't really have that type of quarterback. It would have been pretty special, I think, too.
Jason, what has it been like watching Jordan Mailata go from a guy who never played football before to a starter?
Yeah, I mean, it's a freaking storybook. It's going to be there's going to be a story off of it eventually, I bet. To go from the very humble roots and beginnings he had over in Australia, playing a much different game, to all of a sudden in 4 years being on this stage and having the transformation he's had as a player has been truly remarkable. He's an awesome person. And early on, you didn't know how it was going to go. You see the size and speed, and you're like, there's some stuff to work with here. But there's a whole level of feel to the game and technique and fundamentals that you don't see people starting with from ground one often in the NFL. A lot of that stuff has been taught in high school at this point. So for him to have to learn all that stuff all over again and to understand the game at a very advanced level, and to be able to be where he's at in only this short amount of time is remarkable. Did he have advice? Questions? Oh, yeah. And that's one of the things I think you have to be as a young player. Regardless of whether you're just starting to play football for the first time, you have to ask questions. Ask questions to the teammates in your room. Ask questions to the offensive line coach. Ask questions to the scouts. You want to try and gain as much knowledge as possible and increase your bandwidth and increase your overall intelligence and knowledge of the game. I'm still doing that. I ask rookies questions. I don't have any problem going up to a guy who's never played at the NFL level and asking him why he did something. And I've learned things by asking those types of questions. So I think we have that type of room across the board in the offensive line room. It'd be really hard to sit quiet and not ask questions in our own line room. So where am I at here?
What's the biggest lesson that you've learned from Coach Reed in the 7 years that's helped you just maintain your professional status?
It's tough to pinpoint like one lesson. I think, and I was so young when Andy was here. The biggest thing for me was just being a professional, showing up to work, doing all the little things that, you do at the next level. That in college you start doing that, but it's at a different scale once you get to the NFL. Andy very much ingrains belief in his players, celebrates his guys being themselves and letting their personality show. That's something he's always said. So I think Andy, more than anything, just infuses belief in you and belief within his team and confidence in his guys. And that's, certainly how I try to lead. I would love to be the type of leader and man that Andy Reid is.
Jason, what did you learn from?
Last question, guys. We gotta wrap.
What did you learn from this time in Kansas City, watching them build that team that they built? Like, is there anything you take away from that?
Not really. You would say it's proof that he's an unbelievable coach, but you kind of already knew that. There aren't too many coaches that have had tremendous success one stop, and then go to another stop and have the same, if more, in this case potentially more, if you can even say that, success at the second stop. What he's done at Kansas City has been remarkable. How quickly he did it was remarkable. And they've built another dynasty seemingly in a very few short amount of years. And in my career in the NFL, I've witnessed a coach form one dynasty in one era and go on and still in my same career form a dynasty in another era. And that's probably pretty rare among coaches in the NFL.
Jason, you're about to have a baby. Are you mentally prepared for that might happening while you're playing?
Yeah, I am. I think so. We haven't talked too much game plan if it happens during the Super Bowl, but I like to think my wife will not tell me and just find a way to hold off, hopefully, till after the game for the actual delivery. We're going to have her OB with her. Her parents are coming along on the trip, so she won't be on her own. But I think if it happens during the game, just don't even put that in my head, please.
I've been told that carrying a football is like carrying a baby.
It is. It is. Matter of fact, a lot of the nurses at the maternity ward at Lincoln Hall, where we had our first two, they all said you're going to be a natural at holding your babies because the best way to hold them is just like a football. So it is crossed over well, and good for me. I have good ball security when I'm holding the rock, so no fumbles yet.
It means a lot. He brings so much energy, physicalness and then fun to this defense, to this team. And it's really been fun playing him this year and just continue just to watch him grow. For a guy that's been through what he's been through, it's really, really exciting to see the success he's having right now in his career.
Fletcher, can you tell us a little bit about how Nick Sirianni drills into you guys the importance of turnovers in the culture of the Eagles?
We talk about it every day. And it's not a day goes by that, or a meeting that goes by that we don't talk about the turnover, the plus or the minus, things that are important. And he talks about it every single day. And that's when you got that. When you got a coach that talks about it a lot, and you got guys that honestly that don't want to be put up there on the screen on Monday morning or Saturday morning of what not to do, of what not taking care of the ball.
Can you make any sense of how you guys were so dominant in the turnover battle the first 8 weeks of the season, and yet you were negative in the back half? Is there any way you can make sense of it, or what was that like?
It's football. Things happen. And, the biggest part about it is some of those games we turned the ball over. And I think a couple of those games we turned the ball over and we lost. So you look at how important it is. But, games that we took care of the football, we won. But, at the end of the day, some of those games, we turned it over, we still won. So it's part of just, playing the game.
Fletcher, you talk about the amount of leadership this team has. Is there a different approach? You've been here before. Is there an approach to the guys that this will be their first time?
Just got to remain the same. And I said it a lot. I told a couple guys to just remain the same. A couple guys asked me, hey, what is it? What is it like? I said, try to change nothing. And, Coach spoke on it the other day that said that, let this week be a normal week for you. If you don't see this person during the week in the regular season, don't see them this week. There's no hard feelings. You can't be afraid to say no. And me, I know I'm not afraid. So if, I have some people here, and if I don't see you during the regular season week, I'm not seeing you during the week. Now, if I see you on a Friday, I'll see you on a Friday, which is our short day. So just try to keep it, remain the same and keep it normal as possible. I mean, he's a new era of quarterbacks. Obviously, he's a really good player, and you just can't say a whole lot more about him because he just shows up on tape how good of a player he is, how many escapes he have, how many plays he made down the field that you don't see many quarterbacks making. So he's a special player.
Fletcher, can you talk a little bit? I'm Jason, and then go over there to your hometown newspaper. Jason, when he gets us, can you talk a little bit about what is your faith? How does it prepare you for a moment like this? The faith that you've grown up with, getting ready to enter a test like this. How does it really prepare you for this moment?
When you have people around you that's been that's went through the process and has been through it all, and you have somebody that comes up to you that haven't been through this process and so what and so on, you want to prepare them for it, because the biggest thing is if you're prepared and as a teammate you feel like you should help somebody else prepare and enjoy those moments at the same time, you can make it pretty simple for them, but at the same time simple is not easy. It's about how they accept that.
And would you anything in particular about your faith at this point and how it helps you in a moment of testing like this?
Obviously you just go back to what you know. And that's the biggest thing. You go back to what you know, kind of what got you to this point, and you got to go back to the process. And once you get back to the process and think about the process of what got you to where you are, you have to just think about it, and think about the main thing is think about how you're going to share that with the players around you.
Fletcher, you've been through this Super Bowl experience once before. At this point in your career, how do you find that this is all different for you and just kind of the perspective that you have?
I think the biggest thing, I don't think this moment ever gets old. I'll never get bored sitting here and, at this time of the year in February, with all the media around and, sitting here and getting asked a bunch of questions, number one. But, being here before kind of helps it. But being here before, obviously, it was a different team, different head coach, different, all kind of coaches, different players, whatever, however you want to put it. But the truth of the matter is we're here to take care of business and finish what we started earlier this year.
How was being a contract year giving you perspective on this entire situation?
Man, the world know I'm on a one-year deal, so I'm just here to enjoy it, and we'll see where the bricks fall.
How special is it to go through this with some of the guys that you've shared the Super Bowl experience before, especially with Brandon Graham?
It's special. I think I said the other day, it felt like me and Brandon been married for 11 years, and he's one of my definitely favorite teammates. He's my locker mate, and I enjoy being around him because it don't matter what we're going through. BG is going to be positive about it. I'll be positive about it, and I don't think there's sometimes ever a day where BG is having a bad day, and sometimes I got to ask him, "Are you okay?" So it's always fun to go through moments like this with BG.
What's your earliest memory of him? You can think way back to the beginning of your relationship.
Just my first day. I come in and, obviously when I first got here, everybody wanted to run BG out of town. And I knew from that day forward that kind of me and BG would create a relationship because I wanted him to believe in himself. He was ready. Obviously some people gave up on him, but he didn't give up on himself.
Fletcher, what are the elements? Go ahead. What's up, Omar?
What are the elements to your defensive front seven that make it so challenging? What do you think are the toughest aspects to handle about your front?
We throw a lot of different looks at teams, and we always talking about checking our box, or being the eraser, or winning your one-on-ones, because we play 4 down, we play 5 down, and that's the biggest thing about us. When you got guys that can win one-on-ones, it don't really matter what front we're in, because guys just taking advantage of the opportunity to get a one-on-one, and when you get it, you got to win.
How much pride is there in those one-on-one battles that you guys are in front 5 now?
Well, we kind of got a thing in our room that mostly if you up there and then we watching film and you get blocked one-on-one, it's definitely a strap. So it's one of those things that we kind of go on, and it kind of keep everybody in the room humble, knowing that it doesn't matter who you are, you can definitely get blocked one-on-one. So you want to win all your one-on-ones, and so you ain't got to get called out in the room by the guys.
When was the sense that you knew this was a special group, that you guys were having a special season? When did it click that this was was something historic?
Just the temperature of the team, after wins, after big wins, just the temperature of the team. Everybody stayed focused and honed in on what we needed to do the next week.
Fletcher, you guys are a win away from becoming the second team ever to win Super Bowls this close together with different head coaches, different quarterbacks. The fact that you're one of those key players that have been a part of that, is that significant to you at all, that historical perspective?
Absolutely. I think, it'll be actually pretty legendary. And the biggest thing for us is, keeping the main thing. Obviously that's really big for us. For me, that was here, at the same deal, this time 5-6 years ago. It's important. But right now, the biggest thing for us is to make sure that we stand focused on what we need to do and not getting caught up in the moment.
As Jalen emerged as a leader on this team, as one of the leaders yourself in the locker room, did you ever kind of take him under your wing or say anything, or kind of things left unsaid as he emerged as a leader of the team?
I don't think there was nothing really to say. I think everybody on the team respect him, and it's been fun just watching him grow over the last few years to become a leader. Obviously, when you're starting quarterback, some people feel like they're forced to do it, but I think Jalen was born for that. He was born to be a leader, and obviously as his career grows, he's just going to become himself. You never see him too high, you never see him too low, and he's always really good about any situation that's thrown at him, and that's what a lot of the guys in the room appreciate about Jalen.
As one of the best players in the league at your position for your entire career, dealing with the rules changes the last several years, protecting the quarterback, the adjustments that you've had to make, is that more mental or technique?
This game is so fast. We play this game so fast, and sometimes that, it's hard to slow down. It's hard to stop, 315 pounds immediately, when you're running full speed, without trying to, sprain an ankle or do something. And the most important part about it, some of the times when these things happen, we're engaged on a block, and it's just hard to control it. So, it's more of a, mental / control thing, but at the same time, we're going to make mistakes. Those flags are going to get thrown, but we got to move on from it.
Thank you, Fletcher.
We got to know, who's the best dancer on the team?
Jordan Davis.
You had that quick.
Absolutely.
Oh, great, man. We've seen it. He just got the ability to make plays, at any given time. So that's the problem about this game, that's about the clock. So we just got to play ball, man. That's all we got to do, man. We know what type of guy he is. We know what type of team that is. They got a lot of talent, man. They got a lot of explosive guys over there, but we also got the same thing, too. So we just go out here and compete, man, and have a great time, enjoying this moment for everybody, and, try to get this dub.
Is that the thing with Mahomes? He can throw from any arm angle.
Yeah.
You got to be ready at all times.
Got to be ready, man. He can throw the ball across his body 60 yards if he want to. So he's very talented, man. He's a one-on-one guy. He's very unique. So, man, it's good, playing in the Super Bowl on this type of level, going against one of the best to do it.
Do you see Travis Kelce when you guys defend him? Do you see him as a receiver?
He's everything. He's a receiver. I done seen him play receiver. I done seen him play quarterback. I done seen him play the hook and laterals. He does it all. You know what I'm saying? So he's go down as arguably one of the best tight ends to ever do it. So he's everything.
I interviewed you in Detroit. Do you still follow the Premier League?
Huh?
Do you still follow the Premier League?
Premier League?
Yeah.
In Detroit?
No, I interviewed you in Detroit. I think you were talking about playing FIFA. And
Oh, yeah. I love FIFA, but I ain't played the new FIFA no more like that because the FIFA got too technical now. It's not like, I used to get a Bonnier and just run down the field because he was too fast. Nobody couldn't catch him, but now it's like more technical. I can't get all that. Yeah. It's not. They two different type of players. They both just great with their legs, but they're two different type of players. So it's not a really comparing situation. It's more like, playing the game. So it's not a real compare. I wouldn't compare them two guys.
But does it kind of show like you can be a great quarterback doing it differently?
Yeah. You can just look at Drew Brees. You know what I'm saying? He's not the most tallest guy, most strongest arm guy, but he found ways to get it done. He's gonna go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks ever too. So it's it's whatever you do, man. And I think Coach them did a great job of finding a situation to make Jalen who he is. So just like Mahomes.
Sorry, my phone went out, so I have to ask you the question one more time. Just about you and JB Hassan, you guys might not have gotten the recognition that you deserve because you were in markets that weren't winning.
Yeah.
But let's talk about how the timing of you guys coming together to make one of, if not the best defensive team in the league.
Yeah, man, it's amazing, man. Like I said, me and Jalen, not me and Jalen, but me and JB, we both on like organizations that were not like, I won't say not winning organizations because they don't want. We've been locking down folks for a long time, and just to get recognized because we wasn't on TV a lot, and now that we're on TV a lot, being one of the best teams in the NFC and in the NFL, and we're not playing on the national stage in the Super Bowl, we getting the recognition that we deserve because. I probably should have more than 5 Pro Bowls, but JB should be having more than 1. He should have made Pro Bowl this year, but we both should have maybe more than 1 All Pro. So being on this stage, man, it's good, man. The marketing is great over here in Philly. They love us in Philly. We love y'all, and the media love us now too.
What are you going to do
to stop Patrick Mahomes?
Huh?
What are you and your teammates in the future think that's going to do to stop Patrick Mahomes?
Just contain him, man. Just try to limit him to making big plays because he's a guy that can make big plays at any given time. But, he's a talented dude, man. He's a one-on-one guy, so we just got to just make sure we contain him and make sure he just don't make big plays.